Welcome to our detailed tutorial on presentation and demands under demand guarantee and standby letter of credit. Whether you are a beneficiary, an applicant, or a financial professional, understanding these concepts is crucial for ensuring compliance and smooth transactions. So, let's dive in. First, let's define a presentation. A presentation refers to the delivery of required documents to the guarantor under a demand guarantee or standby letter of credit. Now, let's explore some key requirements. First one, timelines. The presentation must be made on or before expiry. Also, merely dispatching documents before the expiry date is not enough. They must be received by the guarantor in time. Second, identification. The presentation must clearly identify the guarantee under which it is made. This is usually done by stating the guarantor's reference number. The examination period for the guarantor states only after identification. Remember, delayed identification does not extend the expiry date. Now, format of presentation. Presentations can be made in paper or electronic form. It depends on the guarantee specifications. If the form is not specified, it must be in paper format. Now, mode of delivery. If a specific delivery method is mentioned, it should be followed. Here, if a delivery method is not expressly restricted, an alternative mode can also be used, provided it reaches the guarantor on time. Final one, language requirement. The documents issued by or on behalf of the beneficiary or the applicant must be in the same language as the guarantee. All other documents or any other documents such as a transport document or survey report can be in any language. Now, the Uniform Rules for Demand Guarantee or URDG758 establish clear guidelines for making presentations. Let's look at most common type of demands. First type is demand for payment. Second, extend or pay demand. Third, variation of the amount of guarantee. Fourth, termination of the guarantee. Now let's see URDG 755 Article 15, which outlines the essential requirements for making a demand under a demand guarantee or counter guarantee. A demand under a guarantee must meet specific requirements to be valid. Let's break them down. First one, supporting documents. A demand must be accompanied by documents specified in the guarantee. It must always include a statement by the beneficiary specifying how the applicant have breached their obligations. Also, this statement may be included in the demand itself or as a separate signed document identifying the demand. Second, demand under counter guarantee. If the demand is made under a counter guarantee, it must include a statement by the counter guarantee holder confirming they have received a complying demand under the original guarantee. This statement may be in the demand or as a separate signed document. Now, exclusions. The requirements for a supporting documents can be excluded if explicitly stated in the guarantee or counter guarantee. A clear exclusion phrases such as the supporting statement under Article 15A and B is excluded satisfies this requirement. Now, date restrictions. The demand and supporting statement cannot be dated before the date when the beneficiary is entitled to present a demand. Any other accompanying document may be dated before that entitlement date. No document including a demand and supporting statement may be dated after the date of the presentation. Making a demand under URDG 758 Article 15 requires precision. An incorrect demand may be rejected, causing delays and financial loss. Here is how to ensure compliance. First one, review the guarantee terms. Ensure that all required documents and statements are included. Also, use correct wording. If a statement of breach is required, it must be clearly expressed. Remember to check the dates. Make sure the demand and supporting statement are dated appropriately. Also, verify any exclusions. If the guarantee excludes a requirement for a supporting statement, ensure the exclusion is clearly stated. Now, what are the common pitfalls and how to avoid them? To avoid rejection of demand, watch out these common mistakes. Missing or incorrect supporting statement. Always check that the statement meets the guarantee's requirement. Incorrect dating. Ensure documents are not pre or post dated incorrectly. Also, failure to follow exclusion terms. If the guarantee excludes a requirement, reference the exclusion correctly. Also, inconsistent documents. All supporting documents should align with guarantee's term. Understanding and following URDG 758 Article 15 ensure that all demand is processed smoothly. Remember, attention to detail is a key. Demand must be accompanied by a required supporting documents. A clear statement of breach must be included, unless explicitly excluded. Unless if it explicitly excluded. Also, correct dating of document is essential, and remember compliance with guarantee terms. Remember compliance with guarantee terms prevents rejection. Now let's focus on Article 23 of URDG 758, which deals with extend or pay demand. This article outlines the rights and obligation of a guarantor when a demand includes a request to extend the guarantee's expiry. Key provisions of Article 23 are: first one, suspension of payment; second, notification requirements; third, outcome of demand; fourth, right to refuse extension; fifth, liability protection. Now let's look them in more detail. Suspension of payment. If a complying demand includes an extension request, the guarantor may suspend payment for up to 30 days. If the counter guarantor also suspends payment, this period reduced by 4 days. Now, notification requirements. The guarantor must promptly inform instructing party of the suspension. Also, if in the case of counter guarantee, the counter guarantor must then inform instructing party of any suspension. Now, what are the outcome of demand? If the requested extension is granted within the suspension period, the demand for payment is deemed withdrawn. If no extension is granted, the guarantor must pay the demand without requiring further presentation. Now, right to refuse extensions. Even if instructed to grant an extension, the guarantor or counter guarantor may refuse and proceed with payment. Finally, liability protection. Remember, the guarantor or counter guarantor are not liable for payments suspended under this article. Now, the elements of complying presentations. First one, It should adhere to the terms. That means it must match the terms and conditions of the guarantee exactly. Second, compliance with URDG 758. The rule in URDG 758 apply unless they contradict the guarantee term. If the guarantee and URDG 758 does not specify a provision, international standard demand guarantee practice applies. Now, who can make a presentation? While most presentations are made by beneficiary, other parties can also be involved. Now, who can make a presentation? While most presentations are made by beneficiary, other parties can also be involved. Typically, beneficiary submits demands. Also, applicant may be required to present documents in some cases, like variation or termination. Likewise, third parties can also present on behalf of beneficiary or applicant, such as an insurance broker submitting an insurance certificate directly to the guarantor. To summarize today's section, making a correct presentation under a demand guarantee or standby letter of credit requires attention to detail, compliance with URDG 758, and adherence to guarantee terms. Understanding these principles ensures a smooth transaction process. Now let's see our key takeaways. Ensure timely delivery of documents. Clearly identify the guarantee. Follow the required format and delivery method. Maintain compliance with URDG 758 and international standards. Understand your rights under the Article 23 when making an extend or pay demand. We hope this tutorial has helped you understand the process better. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your questions in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.